I got arrested driving a stolen car when I was 17 years old. I was trying to date this girl. She was a year behind me in high school. She was about my age, but she was a junior. I was a senior. She and I agreed that I would take her to her prom. You know, this is the big dance that the kids go. And I said yes. And I wanted to impress her and I wanted to have a place to neck. That was the word we used. It sounds archaic to, kiss and touch with her after the prom event, which was a thing. That was something you did. The kids that had money rented limousines and got driven around, and they had the big back seat of the limousine to do whatever they were going to do. So I was longing to be able to drive. The hippest kids were older than me. You could drive at 16. You could get a license at 16. I wanted to be able to drive. Okay, not only because I could maybe get the girl to go out on a date and maybe find some use for the back seat of the vehicle, but also just because it was cool. It was like a maturity thing. It was like these other guys had, people driving cars. So it happened that there was a car being repaired on the lot of a filling station very nearby my house, just down the alley. And it happened, I discovered this because some kids ran up there to me and they told me, said, we can turn this car on because they've been playing around in there, that the ignition was faulty and you could actually just rotate the lever and start the car. So the harebrained idea got in my mind that I was going to drive this car. It was just a thing a 16-year-old kid might do. I was almost 17. It was the summer of 1966. So I drove the car off the lot. And then came a critical moment. Do I take it back to the lot? Or do I stash it somewhere where I can drive it again tomorrow?
Okay, so wait. So you stole it and you have gotten away with it pretty much. You take the girl to prom.
Well, I kept it for a few days before I went to pick her up. I drove it around town. I had a car of my own for like a week. Among the things I was going to do with it was impress her on prom night. But I had other people I was trying to impress, including my buddies. Believe me, it was a harebrained scheme. It was very stupid. But it was a lark. It was a lark. I wasn't really stealing the car. I mean, I had no intention to like keep it forever or sell it or anything like that. I was just having fun with it.
How did the cops feel when you told them that?
Well, exactly. Exactly. They took me to the interrogation room to try to find out who I was working with.
Wait. We're going a little bit too fast. How did you get busted?
Okay. So I'm on my way to her house in this vehicle. I'm really going to impress her as I pull up in my vehicle. And there's a light of a flashing security officer behind me. And he pulls me over. He wants to see my driver's license. Of course, I don't have one. He wants other identifying information on the car. He asks me to get out of the car. He puts me under arrest. The car had been reported stolen. It had a South Carolina license plate. He asked me where I was from. I said, Columbia. I mean, that was the one city that I knew in South Carolina. And he put me under arrest. It was, and my father had to come and get me out of jail. And he was very disappointed. But I also got into trouble with the girl's brothers, her older brothers, because I stood her up on her prom night. I never showed up. I was unable to call and make them aware of what had happened to me.
What they do?
They were going to beat me up. They threatened me. I didn't go around there. I tried to go and apologize. And she was angry, of course, and hurt. I got out without getting beaten up, but I don't know how I managed to escape that fate. I did not get beaten up about that, but I felt threatened by it and was afraid to go around.
So when your father came and picked you up, what was his reaction?
Uh, so he had a half brother named Gerald, and Gerald was a complete fuck up. Gerald was a drunk. Gerald couldn't have a job. And my father was always taking food to Gerald's children. Literally, literally. And he said to me, the thing that hurt the most, which was that I reminded him of his brother. The last time he had set foot in a police station was to get his brother out of jail, and now here I am. So it was devastating. Now my mother's brother, Adler, the lawyer, even though by now he had been disbarred and was no longer a practicing attorney, he had been a high flying lawyer in Chicago coming out of Northwestern University Law School. He got caught in scandal about some financial misdealings. He used his connections as a lawyer known in the court system, even though no longer legally able to practice and therefore unable to represent me officially. This is a good kid. He's valedictorian of his high school class. He's on his way to the Illinois Institute of Technology. He's my nephew. He's not some ruffian. You don't want to send this kid to the county jail. I did not spend a single night under custody. So I was, in a way, released from jail in his recognizance because it's Chicago. If you know somebody who knows somebody, you're good. You're good. So I got off relatively light because of the effective intervention of my uncle. My father was terribly disappointed in me. I mean, the thing blew over. The charges were, not dropped exactly. It was like, if you don't get into any trouble in the next year, we're going to expunge the event from your record. So that's what that was.